I would love it if he had blue, but he's such a good dog. I love him the way he is.
Oh, he's just gonna fall asleep. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
This dog, man, I love this dog.
Just have an entire segment of just him, just singing.
Yeah, just like being cute.
Bring everyone to the
And
channel.
then he's like, hey, who is that?
That is so good.
Who is that, Daddy?
All right, we're gonna need this dog in the shot for this next topic.
Yes.
The next topic is I'm gonna take the second one here. Topic is about all right. So recent current events. The United States Supreme Court have made it mandatory that in all 50 states it will be legal for the gay community to marry, the gay and lesbian community to marry themselves, to get married rather. And then we've also had a lot of movements to get the Confederate flag pulled down. And then recently, I believe there's going to be a woman who's going to be on one of the U.S. dollar bills. So that's huge. For 2015, that is a ginormous step forward in progress for our society in America. So what else do you think? What else do you think is next? Like, what do you think we're going to move for in the future? Is my topic.
Well, hopefully full equality all across the board, which I love that step for the gay community. You know, shout out to #LoveWins.
Yeah,
I love that.
#LoveWins, man.
Yeah, man, that's a amazing feat for humanity.
Yeah,
realistically.
Yeah. Well, for America,
guys.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's legal to marry. I think gays can marry in certain other countries.
Man, what's next? We got so many things going on right now, here in America at least. There's a lot. There's a lot of like big things that are coming up right now. We got a lot of the cop stuff going on. You know, the racial stuff that's going on, black and white going on. There's, you know, that's mixed with the Confederate flag stuff going on, and the crazy shooting that happened. And then we got great things that are going on, like, you know, gay marriage is now allowed in all 50 states, and that's amazing.
Yeah, I think like really like, okay, so I look at this and I look at, there's still like, it's insane. It's 2015 and there's still racism going around. Like it's just embedded in our culture. And it's taking heart. It's taking a while to just get out, right?
It's taught. It's so taught.
Absolutely taught.
Yeah, so everything. Like, and that is like for me a fact too, because seeing kids, they will see and identify that somebody or some kid is a little bit different, as in like their color or something. But the way that they treat that kid, the way that they play with that kid, the way that they think about that kid, everything is perfectly fine and perfectly accepting of that child. The only time it's never accepted, regardless of color, is if that child is misbehaving and being kind of a D. You know, and it doesn't matter what color of skin that is. That's the only time that I see at least my children be like, I don't want to play with him or her. I'd rather go play with this group of people, you know, because they're not acting like that. So that's a taught thing. And that, you know, I personally think that we have to be careful with like news media and what's constantly being produced in people's faces to the millions, because, you know, the racial thing, I live in the South. I see some racism. I don't see it nearly as much as I feel like the news media outlets are producing it right now. I do see it though. Is it like KKK stuff going on? No, not at all. Is there Confederate flags and stuff like that? Yeah, I live in Georgia. There's some Confederate flags. Yeah, people do try to claim that it's not tied to racism. I'll disagree. You know, I think that there's still something attached to it a bit. I think that, you know, a lot of us playing the stereotypes, which is a little bit of an issue too. All different kinds of stereotypes. Sometimes we like to generalize an entire group of people based off of those, which is wrong of us as individuals. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of crazy things going on. I want to see. I don't know what would be what's the next steps, you know, because like a lot the things we talking about right now that you just brought up in discussion, there's a lot of unrelated stuff with one another in those.
Yeah.
You know, that it's like, who knows what the next thing could be, you know?
My thought is, so like, you have Bruce Jenner in the in public eye right now because of the transgender stuff, and I really do believe that is the next step. Like, it feels that we are accepting the gay community, the lesbian community a little bit more, but those who are like, I'm not saying that they're choosing to do this because they're born a certain way and they want to be a certain way, but I think that the perspective is that this person is choosing to change genders, therefore like they're making that choice, and therefore it's not as acceptable, I feel like. So I hope that that would be the next step, like accepting those that feel that they're born a certain way and want to be represented, like through the proper body parts or through the proper aesthetics, like however they want to feel, they want to represent what they feel inside. I would hope would be the next step in acceptance in the country and across the world. I guess another easy big one is really like the first female president, right? Like we haven't had that, and also first gay president, like that. I feel that is going to be huge. Like that's going to be a big thing.
Yeah,
and I feel people are probably going to be talking, asking like when is that going to happen?
Huh.
And let me remind you guys, like it's 2015. We just had the first openly gay football player.
That's very true.
Openly gay football player. The rosters for the 32 teams have 52 players on them. You're telling me not one of them might be like
possibly gay?
That's wild to me, and nobody, you know, like, and good for him. And Michael Sam was his name. He got drafted by the Rams. Ultimately, he didn't make the cut, but how brave is that guy to be the only player to come out and just he's like, I'm gay
takes a lot of
and I'm a
courage,
damn fucking good football player.
I'll
knock you out.
Like at that stage
Especially
in
if
his
you're
life,
famous,
he's that one green guy walking around with everybody else. You know what I mean? He's standing out hardcore right there, being that brave leader in that community. You know?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
It's huge. You know, we've come so far, but there's still so much more to do. And like I can't imagine what those locker rooms must be like. Like it's old school. Like I mean, it's crazy because like I even work with some people, or like you know, like we know our friend Calvin is a cop, and he tends to be, he has cop friends, and a lot of those cop friends, when they get together, it's that old boys club mentality where it's like, hey, let's talk about that other girl. Like we're all married, but let's Google all those other girls, and like, or not Google, but like drool over the girls walking by, or like make like sexist jokes and like talk bad about like the gay community. And it's like when you get that group together like that, like it just feels terrible. I don't want to be around it, and I can't imagine what a football locker room would be like, or like anything else. So
that would be a tough one, to be honest. I can understand that one. Being in sports for a while, I could see how that mentality would just clash against that,
right?
To be honest. It would.
I mean, I know we've probably been guilty of it too, like throwing like gay around a lot and everything like that. But
even in a way that's like trying.
I mean, not even thinking about it. Yeah, you're just not thinking about it at all, and you're just saying it or whatever like that. You know, like oh man, that's gay, just like that.
Yeah.
But we don't even think of it that way, and then some other person could take them completely different and everything like that. Like I think
Which brings me back to the Confederate flag discussion, right? The Confederate flag for a lot of people was a representation of Southern like pride, right? Like it had nothing to do with racism for them. However, a large majority of people have taken that symbol and used it for racism. Yeah. So if you put yourself in that person's shoes, like to me, the best that I can do is, even if I'm in those shoes, I'm saying, okay, I love the South, but this symbol has been taken and has been abused. And as much as I want to fight for it, it needs to go.
Well, then
we
what
need
about,
to just get rid of it.
What about people like saying, you know, see a lot of people going like, you know, oh, black pride's okay. Oh, Hispanic pride's okay. Oh, this pride's okay. When it comes to like white pride, people are like, it's not okay. So like, would you rather them say Southern pride instead of white pride? Like, almost.
Well, the Confederate flag is not a symbol of white people. It's a symbol of the South.
Okay, yeah, but Southern, they were fighting for slavery and stuff like that.
And
But the Confederate flag, the Civil War wasn't really about slavery. Like, it became about slavery, but it started because they just wanted to secede. They just wanted to be their own country.
Yeah.
And then we eventually made it about.
My point to that one, Clay, is the Nazi symbol, right? The swastika. The swastika is actually, was taken from a Buddhism symbol for, I believe, it's peace. And it's
That's
supposed
crazy.
to have some type of meaning of like some type of power behind it. Like anything with this symbol is like some great thing. So the swastika eventually became like this hated symbol now. And if you look at its origins, it started with Buddhism. Now, should it be hated? Should it be like discriminated against because of all that? Like, I can understand that in history right now, it's got a really, really bad rap.
Yeah.
Like perhaps it shouldn't just be flying around because people can take it instead of being the Buddhist symbol, which a lot of people are unfamiliar with. They would take it as a swastika. You know what I mean? Like you're saying to your point, I get it. It's not so attached to this kind of thing. It's this idea, but it's probably should be down because it still was represented this way. Yeah, that symbol. We're trying to display it as the Buddhism thing, but yeah, the Nazis did run around with it for a while and do some, effed up shit. So maybe I shouldn't just fly it in my front yard, because I don't know how mass public's gonna take it.
Right.
That's where it becomes into politically correct. Do you care?
Right.
Do you care now that you're like, hey, I know what it means for me. You know what I mean? And that's where that argument's coming in with the Confederate flag. A lot of people are saying, I know what it means for me. It doesn't mean something racist. It means this.
But if you end up fostering that racism by toting that flag around, like you're doing a disservice to the society, right? And the people that you care about.
Yeah.
So if it becomes a question of, what do I care more about? Do I care more about shutting out racism and the hurting of people, or do I care more about
my Southern
symbolizing my heritage, right?
Yeah.
And I think the moral choice, like the correct moral choice, is decision rather is like
get rid of the flag.
Get rid of the flag.
Yeah.
Right. And that sucks, but you know what? Like we're talented. Come up with another Southern symbol, man. Like figure it out. Like we can do that.
So one thing that I was kind of finding, like there was to Stephen's point before, he was saying about saying gay, and how we can, that's gay, and it's like we over abuse certain things. I think we over abuse a lot of things that we don't really think about when it comes to communication as individuals, like how we have, women's equalities, for example. There's a lot of things that have been happening in women's equality over the past, 50, 60, 70 years. That's been great. But it's not full equality, and I don't want to act like it is either,
Right.
Because even things that we say, for example, there's a lot of old school mentalities. I'm not going to say anything in particular, but, they'll say things like, say a little boy is being tickled and starts screaming with a really high-pitched voice. Stop screaming like a girl. Right?
Oh, right, yeah.
Stop beating a girl. Now, something like that, everybody's said at some point or another, says these kind of things, and it's not really, they don't see it as being something, knocking down women, but
it absolutely does, though, right?
But it absolutely does.
Yeah.
It's putting you down. Now you are put down, like it's putting down women. Why are you sounding like a girl? That's something bad. Why do you sound like a girl? Or
you throw a ball. You throw like a girl, like Sam.
Right.
Yeah, you throw like a girl. You kick like a girl, right? Like, what is that mentality? Like, why are women being put down? Like, I've seen women that can kick a ball way better than you.
Yeah.
Like I've seen that could throw a ball way better than you, or could do whatever better than you. Exactly.
Yeah,
so
five fighter. Yeah.
I think that's something we have to be careful of too, with communication, what we say and how we act, and that all starts from up here, and we have to identify those things we do, because just as easy as it's to say, hey, that's gay, or hey, stop, why do you sound like a girl? It's easy to make unconscious statements like that have a deep down meaning somewhere for you personally that you might need to change.
I think society's a part of that too, though, man, because think about how quick we are to follow. Just like
Oh, yeah.
we're taught that in school, just basically follow this, and stuff like that. Like kind of like that thing you commented on the other day, Clay, on my page, about that guy, which was weird. Anyway, he had like long hair and that red like stripe and everything. He looked weird, but he was rapping. He was a white guy rapping. But he was absolutely completely right. He was like, I was taught, about Henry VIII and him, and his 18 wives. Why wasn't I taught about how to vote and about all of our laws? That there's 30 laws on sexual rights and stuff like that, or things you can't do. Like, why wasn't I taught on like property taxes, like, and all this other stuff? You know what I mean? Like, I'm taught, Civil War and like, racism, all this other stuff, you know what I mean? Like, he's Rocco's out. But yeah, I'm just I don't know, it's just like we're taught and we're so used to like, I don't know, like, what is the word? I guess conformism, or not conformism, but like
conforming. Like we follow the majority.
Yeah,
right?
so it's like like it's almost like you get into a big group of people and everything like that, and be like, oh yeah, this person, blah blah blah. But then there's some people that defend that fact, and like I know Rocco's one of those people that just like he'll defend his fact. He won't conform, like what I mean, like that.
Well, I mean, if you got something that like you're
passionate about.
Not just passionate about, because that can be scary still too. There's plenty of people that are passionate about things that
strap bombs to their chest.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah. Okay.
I guess for me, it's like if there's something out there that I've like, the only time that I stand strong on a belief of something is if I've experienced that belief to be true for me through my experience. Okay. Then I'm like, hands down, I've experienced this. I see it as true. I've felt it as true. I know it is true. You can tell me all day long, but this is what I'm seeing and experiencing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. I'd say that.
I guess I don't know where I was trying to go with that, but I'm thinking I was just trying to go with like, it's just, I wouldn't say human nature, but it's like conforming. It just seems like everyone conforms to everything like that. You have a bunch of individuals, but like, how hard is it to change other people?
I think because we have also an instinct of wanting to be accepted by others.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of like conforming.
My little girl right now, Bella right now, like she's all into gothing now. I'm like wondering why she's so much into goth and this and that. And I'm sort of thinking she wants to be with other friends. The thing is funny is she's like, she dresses goth and does all this stuff and everything like that. When she's talking to her friends, she takes pictures and sends to her friends. When she goes to school, she dresses like an Abercrombie. She dresses like, she has makeup on, this and stuff like that. She only acts that way to conform, I guess, and be accepted by the friends that she she
sees as having a higher status inside of the social society.
I don't know. I guess I'm like I said, as a parent, I'm experienced all this and this, and I don't know, because I didn't do that when I was younger. Do you remember doing that, Rock? Like, did we conform? We didn't do that. Like,
no, we weren't really but everybody's. That's the beauty of the world around us, is that there's like diversity. You know what I mean? Like, I see little kids that will totally not conform, and I see little kids that will follow that leader in a second. You know?
Yeah.
And I see adults the same way too.
Are those people than they are the other people?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are there more conformers than there are leaders?
I don't think so. I think it's
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. There's a lot more of conforming, and there's a lot more conforming, I think, too, because of like, okay, so if I get told something like, oh, this is what's going on over here in this country, blah, 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 I'm just going to accept that as being true, because I'm busy throughout the day doing everything else I got to do to be able to live life and to take care of my kids and to go do my job and all this and that I don't take the time to go look at something outside to say whether it was true or not true. So then, say it wasn't true. I guess you'd say I was then conforming to a certain belief. For example, there was one thing that had came around that the news media outlet was putting out, like, Russia's society's going crazy, blah, 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 to find out that it was an old video footage of Iceland through a revolution that they recently had. If you don't take the time to go and learn all that information, then you conform to the belief that Russia's going crazy.
Right.
Like that. So it's easy. You can be manipulated very easy. There's tons of different things out there through social media and all different kinds that can help conform you. I think that, there's a lot of things that play into that keep us distracted from ever going out and finding our own answers too, because maybe we don't have that time.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I was finding in common thread though, that we were asking about, like, here's a solution to some of the issues that we have that we just spoke about with the Confederate flag, the racism, and you know, the gay rights going on. It seems like the common thread that we need to have between all those situations and for the future is acceptance.
Yeah.
Acceptance for the gay community. You know, acceptance to racism. You know, like accepting the other races that they are. You know, they're existent and they're just human beings at the end of the day, and you need to stop treating them as if they're something different. But just acceptance. You know, and maybe that's eventually the future too. Acceptance of it. You know, like you're saying, a new female president. Maybe full equality between all people. You know, and genders. Sorry guys, my dog is trying to chew the camera.
I don't know, the whole acceptance thing. Yeah, like that. I mean, the funny thing, going back to what you said about, you know, Bruce Jenner, who's now Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
Right.
He said, crap, sorry, my mic just came out. Like I work in the pharmacy, and Leslie, who's a lead tech, she was typing up this pharmacy, and I overheard the guy, and I don't know if it was because he just got out of surgery or what, man, but he was really torn down about the whole Caitlyn Jenner thing, like Bruce Jenner being, oh dude, this guy started crying, like I don't know what it was, but he was just like, whole world's going to hell. He's like, you know, we got, you know, gays, you know,
there's a lot of people that have that belief.
But dude, like as soon as he got to, you know, I don't know if you guys knew, but Bruce Jenner back then was like an icon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he
like
went
everyone, like guys wanted to be him, all this other stuff. And like I don't know if he was like a big role model for this, but he was like, as soon as he said that, he's like, no, you got kids, this world's going to shit, and then he just started crying, like not like a tear, you know, but like it's bawling. Like I'm like, and I was just wanted to be like, are you fucking serious? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but then I guess that's his belief or whatever, right? But like, I don't, you know, I guess you have to be sensitive to that too. Maybe, I don't know.
Really afraid of it.
A lot of fear there, man. There's
like,
you
why? I don't know.
I live in the Bible Belt, and you know, I'm not that religious. I have complete acceptance for religious people. I've met a lot of beautiful people that are religious, you know, but I've also met some that are like so consumed in fear too. Sometimes religion can restrict people, I think, from being able to accept, to be honest. And that's kind of scary as well, because I've seen a lot right now about, you know, seeing the end of the world, the apocalypse kind of coming right now, because what they're seeing around that's going on, the acceptance of the gay community. I've seen some really hateful comments on Facebook, you know, flowing through. It's I don't know. That's scary too, because think about those people in their perspective. That guy sitting there sincerely crying because in his life and his reality, he sees this end and fearful thing going on. This society's going in this crazy direction. This is terrible. It's full of horror. That's
what is that though? Like, I don't understand. Like, why? Like, what?
Because I think it challenges his religion, right? Like,
yeah,
if something happens where he would believe would never happen if his religion was true, then it's challenging his religion. I think he's scared.
I think that I've seen some super ignorant people out here in some areas, and there's some that just it is scary. You know, they see everything that's happening right now in the world as a sign to that the world is coming to an end, and it's crazy because, I mean, it's not crazy, it's understandable. I understand it from the perspective of seeing that based off of what you're thinking and your beliefs is kind of how you filter and see the world. Because mine aren't those beliefs. I don't share the same beliefs as these individuals. And because I don't, I see a lot of great things happening around the world. I do see some bad things. I do see some corrupt things. But I also see some phenomenal changes, especially like equality, like we're talking about right now. Yep. You know, the fact that we're able to be at this point. Yeah, racism still is around, but it's not nearly the same as it's been for the past 1,500 years before this. You know, like, come on, like let's put it into perspective. But it's getting better and better. I see hope. I see progress where others see doom, and others see fear and they're afraid, and that's just because of how their beliefs paint their reality, and that's where it can sometimes be a little scary because, that's I think the people that end up tending to do some things that are irrational. The ones that are seeing the world to be this way, and that is their reality, and they're living that. That's real for these people. And it's not to be like, oh, I feel bad for you. It's just to say like, hey, maybe let's just see some, I guess this is an old Chinese proverb, but light a candle in the darkness. If you see darkness, that's all you're seeing, then try to light some candles there at least.
The spiritual one.
Yeah.
No, the heartthrob, rock going. No, I love it, dude. I love it. I think that's great.
Just try to think about the positives. Try to see some positives, even if there's this apocalypse and all these different things. Look at something, that's positive, or think of something that's positive, and hopefully you'll start to see a little bit more in the world of hope.
Man.
And not demise.
If I could end this topic with a funny note, I was on Facebook, and it was a meme of Joe Rogan on his stand-up.
Yeah, I love
have you
that.
seen that? And he's like if you don't like gay marriage, there's one of two things wrong with you. Either you're dumb, or you're afraid that dicks are actually secretly delicious.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan
that
is
was
great, dude. He's got an amazing stand-up, too. Yeah.
So, all right, well, thanks for humoring me in that discussion.
You got
I feel like we could go really deep into that, so maybe another time we could touch on some other stuff.